Hi, folks. Welcome back to the PagerDuty Twitch and LinkedIn channels today. I'm Mandy Walls, DevOps advocate at PagerDuty. Today, we're going to be talking about analytics, and I'm here with Anojan, and he's going to tell us all about what's new, what's improved, and what's coming along. So welcome to the stream.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. I can share your screen on there, and we'll let you go for it. Whatever you want to tell us about, we are excited to hear.
Awesome. So my name is Anojan, and I am on the analytics team for incident management. And I've been at PagerDuty actually for approximately a year. And I'm excited to say there's a lot of new exciting things coming in the analytics world this year. And especially it's going to help our customers really access, understand, and apply those improvements to the incident management process. So what I really want to speak to today is I want to go through some of those new functionality and features we shipped with the insights reports that is coming to 100% of all of our customers next week. And then I wanted to talk about some of the upcoming features and then maybe answer some questions you guys might have.
Awesome.
So to dive right into it, I just really wanted to talk about the goal of PagerDuty Analytics and what we really want to do with the analytics section when it comes to the incident management process. So our goal is really to help you all get access to all the data you need to evaluate your incident management process and make improvements over time. We want to give you guys the tools to analyze and comprehend the data easily. And lastly, we want to make sure by using analytics, you guys come out with actionable outcomes to make better decisions. So what are some of those questions our customers have? They range from services to incidents to responder health. But example of some of the questions that we'll be able to answer with the new insight reporting is how many sleep and off-hour interruptions are responders receiving? How quickly are responders resolving incidents? How long are they spending on call? What are their most impacted services? Are we meeting our incident management SLAs? And are we improving over time? This is just a subset of all the questions we'll be able to answer. But our goal is to make the analytics more flexible so you can answer all the questions you need. So before I go through a walkthrough in the product, what are some of the new functionality that you're going to be getting with the insights reports? There's 4 major pieces here. One is we're going to be providing summary metrics. But what that means is we're going to be providing those aggregations based on the filters you choose, so you don't have to do the mental math anymore. Second is we want to provide comparison periods within our visualization, so you know you're improving over time and doing better than the average. Third is the edit columns piece. As you see here in the picture, is we're going to be increasing the amount of metrics you have access to, and you'll have the control of which metrics you want to see on what report. And lastly, the vis selector, you'll be able to now visualize multiple metrics, not only one. So diving into what this, who's going to be receiving this, these new insight reports will be available to all plans except the free plan, so professional, business, and digital operations. So that's very exciting as many of this data was not available before. I'm going to jump into the 4 reports that are available, then I'll go into the demo. So the first report is the Instant Activity Report. And this report now has responder information. So you can see all the added responders in each incident. The goal of this report is to understand specific incidents and dive into incidents that you want to dig into. You'll be able to edit columns on this report, change your filters, and visualize your volume over time. The second one is the responder report. This report is really around making better decisions to improve your team and responder health. One big piece on this report that it's going to be upcoming soon is time on call. The third is your escalation policies. You want to make sure that your escalation policies are set up correctly. So we wanted to make sure we're providing metrics on that grain. And then last is the service performance report. And we really want to make sure your services are healthy and performing, and you'll be able to ensure you are hitting your SLAs that you guys have targeted. So let's jump in straight into the product and see how these reports work.
Awesome.
So this is an internal view of PagerDuty of how we use our reports. So as you can see here, these the date range goes back up to 3 years, and you could select a maximum of 1 year duration of data. I'm going to just look at the last 7 days, and I'm going to focus on the analytics team, the team I'm on. So as you can see here, the top summary metrics really shows you how many incidents there were, and then it kind of goes over all your core metrics. You can now also look at your response effort over time. Let's choose a larger set of data so it's more interesting. I can now view my response effort over time, my MTTA over time, and also my MTTR. So as you can see here, between on July 9th, there was a spike. And I want to dig into that. I want to kind of learn more about that. So now if I go here, I could actually click a custom range. And I can actually click the one day on July 9th. And let's see what happened. So these are all the incidents that occurred on July 9th. And now I really want to just focus on my high priority and high urgency incidents. So if I dig in here, there's nothing high urgency, which is a relief. So if I kind of now dig in, I can now notice that none of the incidents that occurred here required responders except this one incident over here. And it was a low urgency incident. But if I dig into it, I can now see what responder was on the incident, how long they took, and why that incident took longer than I expected. So this incident report really gives you the ability to dig into specific details of incidents. Going on to the next report on my service performance report, the analytics team currently has 16 different services, and I really want to now look at how many escalations or interruptions were on this on services. As you can see, there's a slew of metrics now that we didn't have before. You could look at your like MTTX metrics. You can also look at how many interruptions and notifications each service got, and you can also actually see the total amount of responders for each service, depending on what you're really looking for. So for this case right here, I can now view all my services on one graph to see which of my services are impacting my team the most. And as you can see here, in that time frame I selected, the operational review service is the one causing me the most incidents. But I can also compare different metrics. So if I want to look at my MTTA or my MTTR, you could see that also the operational review service is actually taking the longest to resolve incidents. So now you can compare your services together. But one thing here is you can actually look at it at an all service grain too. So based on the filters you choose, you'll get different summary metrics based on the questions you have. And one key piece here is you'll be able to export the data into a spreadsheet, or if you want to ingest it in a different tool you want. So you don't need to just be able to view the metrics here. One of my favorite reports, the responder report, really focuses on making sure your responders are healthy. And one key way to do that is to make sure they're not getting sleep hour or off hour interruptions. And I can select those columns here. So if I'm looking at my team right here and I filter based on, I sort based on sleep hour, I know that these are the responders that we are actually waking up during the night. And so next time when I make my schedule, I can actually ensure that these responders are not put at the same time. So we actually share the load. I can actually drill down to which instance these were. So if I wanted to look at what instance actually caused Jason to wake up, I can actually click into the acknowledge incidents and actually get a drill down of all the incidents that the responder worked on, which is great for like payroll purposes, or even to understand what workload reviews and any HR pieces there. You could also get this report at a team grain, and you could compare teams. So if you want to know which teams have the greatest load, you want to make changes to your schedule, you want to make sure if you have a new responder, you want to ensure what team they should join based on the incident volume, you could also use this report. And then escalation policy is very similar, just at the escalation policy dimension. So these 5 reports right now have multiple columns you could view based on what slice, what view, and what question you have. So going back to these reports will be available to everyone next week, and we're always collecting feedback and trying to make improvements to the report. So please reach out to your CSMs, or I'll be providing my email at the end. You can reach out to PagerDuty support or myself for any improvements and questions you guys may have. One of the goals of these reports are ensuring that they are flexible. So based on any questions you guys have, you should be able to use the filters and ensure you get a slice of data that is important to you. One piece is, I know a lot of our customers use other BI tools, from Tableau to Looker to whatever you want on the market, and you want access to our data. One thing we are also doing is we're GAing our API. So that is going to be huge news. So you can actually access all the data I showed you and access it into an environment you guys want to work in. So this is super exciting. And if you look at some of the documentation here, I just wanted to show you the link you can actually understand. And it's really easy to use. So these are all the endpoints we have in the analytics section. And then we will kind of walk you through on how to utilize it. And if there's any questions here, please reach out to also your CSMs or PagerDuty support.
Awesome.
So jumping in, I know we're covering a lot of material, but I wanted to also talk about recommendations. And this is something that we also made available to the professional business plans also. So diving into what recommendations are, you can access your recommendations by going to the recommendations tab here. And what recommendations really does, it's showing you the amount of alerts you are getting on your services and how to decrease that workload if intelligent alert grouping was turned on for these services. So an example of these like internal services we have is, if you turn on alert grouping, you'd have a compression rate of 96%, which could save you multiple hours. So these recommendations are definitely worth checking out on how you could decrease the workload for your responders and have a much more efficient incident management process. Sweet.
Yeah, wow. That's a lot of stuff going on there. We have one question so far. For folks who are watching live on Twitch, you can ask your questions in the comments. For folks on LinkedIn, I think I can see you, but if we don't, we'll come back and we'll fill in answers to questions on LinkedIn. So the first question, I think, refers to the first report you showed us. So the incident report. There's a piece of information there called response effort. And we wondered if you could drill down through like what that actually means and what it includes.
Awesome, for sure. Let me go back to the report link over here. Analytics, insights. Sweet. So response effort on the incident report, it takes in all the responders who, let's look at an interesting case. Let's look at this for this incident over here as your, so it takes in all the responders and how long they spent on the incident, and it aggregates that number up. So in this case, you could see how long, like from the time they joined the incident to the time the incident was resolved, it takes that duration.
Oh, that's amazing. We get that question a lot in the community forums. Like, how do I actually find out who all responded, how long they were assigned to the incident? That's excellent information right there.
Mm-hmm. It also shows you like that they're standing too, because this is a lot of test data. You'll see like dummy users over here, because this is internal instance, but it shows you who was invited to the incident, if they actually joined or not, and then it shows you how long the incident was resolved. So you can also go to your edit columns here if you kind of want that breakdown. You can also see when it was resolved at, and then when it was created at, to actually do the like mental math yourself. So it is super transparent on adding those fields there.
Oh, that's perfect. Excellent. And when folks go in and log into their PagerDuty account to see this, do they need to have a specific role, or all these will be available for responders and managers, or just for certain account types?
That's a great question, and it really goes to the permissioning that account has. So if you have responder, if you only have access to one team, our insights filters will respect that. So so for example, if I'm on the analytics team, I have a global admin permissions to this account, but if I only had access to analytics team, I wouldn't be able to see any other team.
Perfect.
So we do respect permissions permissions there.
Excellent. That's super helpful to know as well. And then these reports, you can download the information as CSV files too, right? Is that, yeah,
Exactly.
thought I
So
saw that button.
it downloads the CSV, if you can see below, as an export.
Excellent. So folks can use that even before the API is like completely ready if they want to just take dumps.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now, how live is the data? Like, is there a delay or is it pretty real time?
Yeah. So the data for these reports are the freshness is like 1 day. So
Okay.
it is historical facing, and these reports are not meant to be like real time monitoring tools, as we do have a visibility console that you could view real time metrics, and we're going to be tackling the problem space of real time and as a separate. These reports are meant for historical analysis and analysis over time.
Awesome. Cool.
Sweet. I'm just, if there's any more questions, I'll just jump into what is actually upcoming.
Yeah, do it. That's great.
Sweet. I know this is what everyone's excited for. So one of the largest questions we get is around active users and how to manage user accounts. And we know this is a problem that a lot of our customers have. And this is our answer to you guys. So the user onboarding report. And this is going to be coming out in Q3. But what really this report does is it shows you all of the accounts that you guys have set up. So all of your user accounts, and it shows you metrics on if they actually signed up or not, and if they are actually configured in PagerDuty. So do they have their notifications set up? Do they download the mobile app? Are they on Escalation Policy? And we have more columns available. And this is really to help the admin or team manager make sure that your users are set up properly and set up for success to really like respond to incidents. And this is a great way to monitor that piece. And this report would be available in Q3, and we're going to start EAing and receiving feedback there.
Excellent. So that's like another sort of deeper layer from the operational readiness reports that are already there. Like,
Exactly.
because they don't tell you if people haven't like actually accepted an invite yet.
Exactly. The operational readiness report only focuses on the notification methods, right? If you have, but this kind of focuses on the other components of what makes someone successful at PagerDuty.
Awesome.
Sweet. So, as you know, as you probably saw on our analytics, there's a lot of experiences here. And one of the biggest pieces we're going to be focusing on is cleaning up the analytics space and ensuring the UI is very easy to use and you can actually find those answers to the questions you have. So one of those key principles we have is access. So to do this, we are actually sunsetting our legacy reports and intelligent dashboards. And I'll tell you what's coming in replace of them. So let's not freak out there if you're using it today. So right now, we want these insight reports to be the main reports you guys are utilizing because they're on a new tech stack that is a lot more reliable.
Yeah.
The definitions and metrics have been updated, and it gives you a much clearer picture. So if you go here, the reports say these reports you see here at the end of the year would not exist, and the insight reports have all the same metrics, all and cover, and it has more. So that's one piece, and we're hoping this will actually reduce the confusion of which reports should the team managers and responders use. So it's very clear that there's one set of reports.
Cool.
The same thing with the intelligent dashboards over here. As you can see, the intelligent dashboards like UI, it's very outdated. It's slow. It doesn't really give you a lot of information, and we're replacing this with the new landing page. So let's jump into that. So what's the goal of this new landing page analytics? We want to make sure you're able to drill into reports very quickly. We don't want you to be looking at a tabular format of data, right? We want to make sure you're able to monitor all of your key metrics on one single surface. And only if you're interested in a metric, you drill down. So let's kind of dive deep into what this experience looks like. This experience is currently being built right now, and we're receiving user feedback. So what I show you right now may change, but this will be released for EA in Q3 and then released to everyone in Q4. So I'm going to jump into what the dashboard looks like. Just one sec. Sweet. So this is a
Oh.
work in progress, and we are currently building this right now. But this is how the new dashboard. So you can see it has all your key metrics on one surface. So you don't have to click report to report, and you'll be able to monitor any changes quickly. So when you come into the analytics section, this is the first piece you'll be able to see. So a few metrics we could dive into right here is at the top, are we giving you the key metrics we think are most important to your incident management process from the incidents and alerts. Right now, we don't have our alerts and compression data, but that is something we are working towards and including as that's a large request from our users. You'll be able to see the amount of interruptions you have based on business hours, sleep hour, and off hour, and then the escalations and response effort. You'll be able to also see all these metrics broken down by the services, teams, and escalation policy, whichever dimension you guys are looking at. So from the services, we'll really show you the uptime of your services, what services are being impacted the most, how many escalations you're getting per service, and then your MTTA by service. The key piece here is you could act these all these widgets you kind of see are linked back to the insight back to the insight reports. So all those service performance widgets, it'll be linked back to this report, and it's very similar to the widgets you see here. And you'll be able actually to get then a breakdown. For an example, let's walk through here is you wanted to jump into the data ecosystem service because you noticed your MTTA was really, really high for the selected time period you have. You click into view report, it'll take you to the report, and you'll be able to actually drill down into those incidents and actually see what caused that metric to be what it is. So this is something we're very excited about to actually piece together all those different experiences. We have to have one cohesive user flow. As you can see here, there's some metrics you haven't seen before: time on call, alerts and compression rate, and then operational maturity score. So I wanted to talk about the operational maturity score a little bit. So one piece right now we have is a lot of teams and a lot of responders are not set up or using PagerDuty effectively. And one thing we notice is as you use PagerDuty more effectively and use all the different functionality features of it, your metrics are actually perform better. So we're going to be providing a guide and scale in Q3 and Q4 on this, but this is our work in progress, and there'll be more information to come.
Awesome.
Sweet. So jumping back into the upcoming piece. So we talked about the reports. We talked about the API that's be available so you can access data outside of PagerDuty's ecosystem. We talked about that user onboarding report to ensure those users are using PagerDuty effectively. And we talked about one cohesive experience and a dashboard product. So
Now,
now
will the dashboard behave the same as the reports with the same level of access, like team level or global admin level?
Exactly.
Okay.
All of our analytical experiences will be respecting permissions because we don't want to be providing data that the account admin didn't want some employee. So like for us, permission security is very important, and that's one of our key principles.
Awesome.
As you could also on that point, like it'll be still respecting those filters, right? Those filters don't change. So if you're only interested in one team, like depending who you are, if you are a team manager and you only have one team you're worried about, you can filter this to one team and your recording services. If you're account admin or an exec and you want to look at the all team grain, you can also do that too. And you can look at data for whatever period you're interested in. So we did want to provide that flexibility and make sure it's flexible to that persona you are. So just
and all this data will have a 3-year look back.
Exactly. So you'll
Okay.
be able to look at it 3 years, but you're only able to look at 1 year of data at a time.
Okay.
That's something we're looking to improve, but that is a current restriction of these reports.
Cool.
But if you needed more data and you could all access our API, and all the data we show in the PagerDuty admin will be available in the API.
Oh, nice.
So there would be a consistency there. So Some small improvements we're looking to do, and based on the feedback we have received, is reporting on business services. As you know, some accounts have hundreds to thousands of technical services, right? And the way you guys measure success is that actually that business service grain. So we are working on bringing that into our reporting. Another one is time on call. Sorry. So for time on call, we really want a lot of our team managers measure like the workload of responders and teams based on this metric, and this metric can be used for scheduling purposes, finance purposes, employee health, and it's a very key metric we are working to bring to our product this year. And then the last two pieces is email analytics. As you know, a lot of the people who need this data might not be in PagerDuty today. So we need to have the ability to share this data to other like employees or stakeholders. So we're actually going to be working on providing a report within email and actually a share capability. And then last, I think, Mandy, you mentioned some of those restrictions, right? Of like looking at 1 year of data. Right now, you can only filter to 100 services or responders.
Oh,
So we're
okay.
actually looking to increase those filtering capabilities and constantly make improvements on these reports. So the last slide here is a timeline. When is this all kind of coming out? So in Q2, we have shipped those recommendations. Right now, we're working on giving those insight reports to all professional business and digital operational plans starting next week, and are G'ing our API. That user onboarding report will be available in Q3, and also we are working on the email analytics piece in Q3 too. The new analytics landing page will be in EA early access in Q3 and released in Q4, and then the sunset would happen in of those intelligent dashboard and legacy reports, which is being replaced by the landing page and insight reports in Q4 also. So you have one consistent experience you could focus on. But if there are any questions, feel free to reach out. We'll always love to hear feedback too. If you guys are using these like new experiences, all feedback is super important and welcome.
Awesome. I have one additional question about the incident insights. Is that will there be a way to like also incorporate custom fields for people who are looking at those?
Yeah, so right now, custom fields, as we just roll out custom fields,
Yeah.
we're measuring and evaluating how custom fields is being used, but definitely incorporating custom fields in analytics is it's on our roadmap, and we are like working towards it. It is not going to be available this year, but it is going to be available next year.
Awesome. So for folks who are rolling that out internally, and I know someone's going to start asking about it, like there's the answer.
Yeah,
It will be
we are going to be supporting custom fields in analytics.
awesome. Sweet. Well, I don't see any more questions. If anyone has anything last minute there. Otherwise, how can folks get in touch with you? What's the best way to get feedback to you and your team?
Um, the best way to get feedback is one, if you guys do have a dedicated customer success or support manager, please reach out to them with any analytical questions. And if we maybe need to like jump on a call, walk you through anything, we could definitely do that. If not, you could always reach out to like PagerDuty like support, and support and analytics team works very closely together, and we'll be able to answer any questions there.
Awesome. Well, this looks great. I hope folks are looking forward to it. I'm excited to see it roll out. If folks do have additional questions, if you can't get in touch with anybody, you can always also join us on the forums. These will be answers to lots of old questions that are in the forums. Folks looking for this kind of data will be very excited to be able to go back and update those questions. Say, hey, this is now ready
Yeah.
to go. So
one thing too, it's as we added a lot of new metrics. Please go to the knowledge base on PagerDuty. There's a lot of good information there on what the definition of each metric is, how to use it, and then there's a lot of like tool tips. But yeah, the knowledge base is your friend too, to also get a lot of information on the why and hows.
awesome. Well, this has been great. Thank you so much for coming on the stream today and sharing this out. So
Awesome. Thank you
for
so much.
folks, yeah, great. For folks who missed it, it'll be on LinkedIn. You can replay it there, and we'll also put it up on YouTube. for future reference. And we'll be back on Friday. Friday we'll be joined by Rich Lafferty and Stevenson Jean-Pierre, SJP. We'll be talking about Failure Fridays, which is another popular topic that folks have in the forum. So hoping to get more answers for people's questions there too. And yeah, as always, as things go into early access, anytime you're looking to be the first on the board to get new products from us, pagerduty.com/early-access is how to sign up for that. So get on the list for all the good stuff that's coming. So, all right. Well, this was great. Thank you so much for coming on board. We'll wish everybody else an uneventful day, and we'll talk to you again on Friday.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Make sure you never miss a stream. Follow us at PD Community and PagerDuty on twitch.tv. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you'd like to be on our stream, email us at community-team@pagerduty.com so we can feature the cool things you're doing. And don't forget, check out all of our global events on our calendar at pagerduty.com/events.